Good day. My name is Janshan Miguel from BSIT to a BPO, and I'm here to present to you the topic for system architecture and designing methods. Subtopic 1, service-oriented architecture. First, what is the key principle of service architecture?
Standardized service contract. Services adhere to a service description. A service must have some sort of description, which describes what the service is about. This makes it easier for client applications to understand what the service does. Next is loose scoping. Less dependency on each other. This is one of the main characteristics of web services, which just states that there should be as less dependency as possible between the web services and the client, invoking the web service. So, if their service functionality changes at the point in time, it should not break the client application or stop it from working. Next is service abstraction. Services hide the logic they encapsulate from the outside world. The service should not expose how it executes its functionality. It should just tell the client application on what it does and not on how it does it. Next is service reusability. Logic is divided into services which the intent of maximizing reuse. In any development company, reusability is a big topic because obviously one wouldn't want to spend time and effort building the same code again and again across multiple applications which require them. Hence, once the code for a web service is written, it should have the ability to work with various application types. Next is service autonomy. Services should have control over the logic they encapsulate. The service knows everything on what functionality it offers, and hence should also have complete control over the code it contains. Next is service statelessness. Ideally, services should be stateless. This means that services should not withhold information from one state to the other. This would need to be done from either to the client application. An example can be order placed on shopping site. Now you can have the web service which gives the price of the particular item. But if the items are added to a shopping cart and the web page navigates to the web where you do the payment, the responsibility of the price of the item to be transferred to the payment page should not be done by the web service. Instead, it needs to be done by the web application. Next, service discoverability. Services can be discovered usually in a service register. We have already seen this in the concept of the UDDI, which perform a registry which can hold information about the web services. Next is service compatibility. Services break big problems into little problems. One should never embed all functionality of an application into a single service, but instead break the service down into modules each with a separate business functionality. Next is service interoperability. Services should use standards that allow diverse subscribers to use the service. In web services, standard as XML and communication over HTTP is used to ensure it conforms to the principle.
Why is service-oriented architecture are important?
Key benefits of service-oriented architecture. Service-oriented architecture, or SOA, is an architectural approach for designing and developing a web application. In this approach, an application uses services available over the network via communication calls or requests. SOA includes a set of design principles that structure system development while providing means for integrating components into a unified and decentralized architecture. It allows developers to merge a considerable amount of facilities from existing services to the application. In SOA, resources are packaged as services that are self-contained and well-defined modules that offer standard business functionality and are independent of the context or state of other services.